having trouble reducing your lead cost in meta campaigns? In this video, I'm going to dive into a tactic that we use at Merged Media to drive down lead cost for your lead gen campaigns. Let's dive in. All right, so when you're running any sort of lead gen campaigns, I always suggest initially running dynamic. What that means is you're testing various elements from creative to copy to headline, right? You're testing out all these different variations to figure out which one works best, and the algorithm's trying to figure out which one works best. So when you're running these campaigns, I'm just going to grab an example here. We're running a campaign here for a company, a billing company out in Europe, and we're targeting different audiences. Now with that, what we want to do is figure out, well, what's working best. So when we're trying to figure out what's working best, we need to dive into some of the breakdowns here. So when you see breakdown, you hit this breakdown, which is a drop down. And if you scroll down to dynamic creative element, you can actually see what's working best. In this case here, I'm going to look at the images that we're using for the campaign. You can see here we're running 5 different images. However, you can see that what Meta's doing here, and this campaign pretty much just started, but 23 leads are coming in through this particular creative, but it's at a cost of $19 per lead. Yet we have this one here right above it that's performing at a cost of $13 per lead. Yet Meta has been serving this particular ad to 5,500 people with 20,000 impressions. And this one's only at 672 reach with 1,000 impressions. Why is Meta doing that? Well, Meta is seeing that this particular creative is generating a lot of leads, and it's assuming that we like leads at $19. Yet it's not driving as much traffic to this particular creative, which is only costing us $13 per lead. So sometimes what you need to do when you're running dynamic campaigns is to go in, manually check to ensure that Meta is delivering your ads to the right people at the right cost, right? Another example of this, scroll down or hit the drop down. And next thing we're going to look at is, let's look at text. So here, when we look at text, you'll see here that Meta's delivering most of the ads, 3,900 reach, to this particular one here, right? If your payment system isn't optimizing every transaction, you're leaving money on the table. That's great. We're getting leads for $20, yet we have this particular one that's generated 3 leads at a cost of $9 per lead. So why wouldn't Meta start delivering this text to more people? So we have to manually fix that, right? Now, let's give one more example here. Headline. We have 21 leads from this particular headline. Smarter payments, higher revenue, $18. Yet we have $2 less for this headline here. So what I would suggest doing in this case is grabbing the best image, the best copy, the best headline, and creating a brand new winning campaign out of those 3. Now, I would not shut down these dynamic ads. Let them run at a cheaper spend. But let's be smart and let's create a brand new campaign with the winners, and you can create a winning campaign, maybe use the top 2 creatives, top 2 copies, top 2 headlines, and run that in a winners campaign. And then when you do your optimization, you continually come back here to see what's performing better or worse. And at that point, you can actually cut off some of those creatives that you think maybe are not performing as well, add in new ones. You should always do dynamic testing to figure out what's working best. This is like a playground to see what's working. And at that point in time, when you figure out, when you see that the price is right and you have a creative that's working well, or a headline or copy, then go and throw those into the winners campaign and throw them into the mix. I love creating this type of scenario with my ad campaigns to figure out what's working, because inevitably the ones that are working, the ads, the copy, the headline, they're going to saturate, right? They're going to saturate over time. When the ad frequency increases, they're going to saturate. So that's a sign to tell you that you need to refresh the ads, refresh the creative, refresh the headlines. And that's where you're going to be leaning on your dynamic testing to figure out what's actually working. Okay. If you find this video helpful, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment below. See you next time.